Hey guys, welcome to the second voiceover of this month. So this time I'm gonna be tackling a close-up portrait, female character this time. Last 2 months I did male characters. So this character is actually from a manga called Chainsaw Man, which is if you kind of like gore manga with a very confusing plot. It's kind of strange. It's kind of avant-garde kind of manga, but I quite like it because I'm into sort of fudged up manga plots. I kind of like that. I like hardcore stuff. I like horror manga. If you like that type of manga, I think you will like it. Anyways, she is from that series, and I must say I was kind of confused, sort of confused while I was reading the manga. And you can actually read this manga on, I think it was Shonen, Viz online for literally $2 per month. You can read the whole manga for only $2, which is a great deal. They also have other certain mangas, not all their mangas, that you can access for $2 subscription per month. But anyways, so I wanted to draw her. She's quite an interesting character. But yeah, I thought I'd try something new. So I went ahead and did my usual, blocking in the colors and whatnot. Have the sketch done, blocking the colors. But I wanted to try something a little different. I'm gonna go ahead and how do I do this? Darken the background slightly. Have a bit of background color, and so I have all my layers on separate. Different elements of the character on separate layers. I'm gonna try to create a color layer. I wonder if this is gonna work. So what I'll do is pretty much just kind of color on one main layer for now. And the plan is after I get a good amount of shading and whatnot on the character, I will then take this main color layer and basically transfer the color onto the individual elements of the character. It might sound confusing right now, but once we get there, then I think it will be a little bit easier to understand. I don't even think I'm making myself it's kind of confusing the way I explain it. I apologize. But it's going to be very easy to understand once we reach there. But for now, just gonna try to do the shading, and I would like to try to make this a bit more anime inspired shading wise. I wonder if I can do it because I personally struggle with simplified shading. I always have to make everything more 3D than, sometimes I try to do a bit more simple shading, but yeah, it's a challenge for me because I kind of overdo it sometimes. But yes, I am just, let me lower the lines. I'm just shading the character casually all on one layer. Let's go ahead and use a slightly darker color. Over here, let's add a bit of warmer tone. Oh. Take a bit of this color, bring it onto her other eye. And a bit of shadow underneath that. Go ahead and take the gray color and do her eyes, which is her eyes is gonna be a focal point because her eyes are pretty special looking. Kind of look like Dompa Rompa. I don't think I said the name of the game properly, but it's got spirals in them, so that's why they are quite special, which I will make sure to emphasize as I work on it. I'm lining her eyelash. Oh. Get a bit of the eyelash going onto the hair. Let's go ahead and start painting in the hair. And let's go with this color for the highlight for the hair. So all the color that I'm going to be doing for now will be in one layer, and I'm not going to be very careful on sticking to the lines. So this is actually how I used to paint back when there was a program that was very popular among digital artists, was called Open Canvas and Paint Tool Sai. They're very similar to Clip Art Studio, made by, I believe, Clip Art Studios made by Japanese company, and those two other programs back in the days, also Japanese company. And so this is essentially how I would shade, literally on one single layer like this, and then after I would go slowly and pretty much erase bit by bit like that and clean up that way. But it is very tedious, so we're gonna try something out here. Hopefully it works well. Let's go ahead, take a dark color for the top. She's got a white top on. Let's make it shadowy. We're gonna have intense backlight on both sides. And I'm going to try to incorporate more of the smudge tool, which has the scatter option on for best blending effect, and strength 2%. And this tool is essentially the blur, the blur tool in the old school clip art studios such as Open Canvas or Paint Tool Sai. But in Photoshop, it is that option. You can achieve it with that. I'm going bit by bit to shade out the wrinkles and whatnot of the shirt. I'm gonna be using a blue tone for now, and I will slowly take a bit of this. Maybe not that much, maybe like here. Take a bit of beige color and offset that on the opposite side. Okay, I'm just going to isolate a few of these areas. And let's go ahead and take the highlight color for this side. Take a bit of this, bring it over, highlight a bit of that. Let's go ahead and add some wrinkles using highlight. Okay, let's actually bring a bit of the beige into the collar there. Blend that in with the usual gray tone, and we are going to add highlight on that side, add a bit of shadow here, add highlight on the top of the shoulder pad on this side. This is where the lighting is going to hit the character the most. Add a bit of highlight there too. Take a bit more of the blue tone and apply it in. And I'm going to try to just have a bit of the color bleed out over the lines. And let's go ahead and blur this, or smudge that area. Okay, so this is what we have. Well, at least the good thing about having all the colors on one layer is that you can basically, it's more convenient, let's just say. Let me go ahead and paint her tie. It's more convenient because you can edit everything at once. You can, let's add a bit of shadow in that area. And last but not least, we have the braid. Before, after. So yeah, it is, you know, a little messy at first, but we will get to cleaning up. Shave down the face a bit. It's looking a bit too, might be a bit too round. Let me go ahead and add a bit of lighting on the back here. Add a bit of lighting towards the bottom right corner. And let me go ahead and I'm gonna use the lasso tool to help me add a bit more highlight around that area. Like that. Blend that together again. Take a bit of this. So this is what we have on one single layer. Let me go ahead and do another step here. So I suppose I will let's flip. Let me zoom in here after I flip that. Shall we continue? I'm going to go ahead and start to put in a bit more detail. Let's zoom in here. Let's add a bit of blush. I'm gonna use the lasso tool to help me make sure that I don't paint outside of the face. Let's go ahead and add a bit of pinky tone to the lips. Take a bit of this color. Back to the eyes. I'm going to start by refining it a bit more. Add some more shadow around here. Let's go ahead and take a bit of the beigeier color, put it in the nose area. Take a bit of this color, actually a little bit brighter, underneath the eyebrows. Take this color, darken underneath that area. I'm going to select this part of the eye, same with the other. Go into multiply, take this color, add a bit of shadow to the eyes. Actually, maybe that is not the right direction. Let's do this direction. A bit of shadow and a bit of shadow around here. And add the eyebrows. Take that selection, add a bit of shadow. Highlight underneath the eyes. Add a bit of eye bags under the eyes. I probably need to blend it in a bit more, so we shall blend it in. Take a bit of shadow, add the shadow on this side of the eyes. For this eye, it should be on the opposite side. I wonder how it would look if I just line the bottom. And then what I'll do is going to select a big portion of the face. Let's see, probably gonna have this whole area darkened up. And here. Add a bit of shadow around this area. And it's going to hue saturation, darken, color up, saturation up, lighting down, like that. Oh, whoops. Save real quick. And blend some of this in. Oh, whoops. Go into the airbrush setting so we can blend that in. Take this area, select that area. Let's take this shadow color right there. Start to paint the clavicle area. And around here, just gonna shade it. Let's go ahead, take this part and darken that up. After that, let's take a bit of slightly lighter tone and blend that in. take this shadow color, bring it up. Okay, I think it's getting there. And let's go ahead and give a bit of a rim light to the opposite side now. So let's add a bit of highlight on this side of the nose. Then this side of the face with a bit of highlight on the neck, and as well as on the shirt, this area. So after I selected those areas, I'm going to brighten it up like this. So that's one of the advantages of having all the colors on one layer. If I were to have it on separate layers, it might be a little bit difficult to go back and forth between each layer and do it separately. So that's why I'm gonna try this method out, and hopefully, you know, it's going to speed things up. But so far so good. Let's flip it back again. So after flipping back, it's time to start blending out areas. I'm gonna go ahead, select underneath each hair like that. Add a bit of drop down shadow, cast it from the hair onto the face. Kind of like that. I'm going to slowly remove the lines bit by bit. Because right now, as I'm painting, the lines are in the way a bit. Let me go ahead and what should I do? Let's try to make this whole area darker. Okay, let's go with this for now. Blend that out a bit. Smooth that out, and then I have to work on the eyeliner. Make sure that it is accurate to the character. I want to make sure that I do it right. Alrighty. Zoom in here. Let me lower the lines one more. A bit more, I mean. Take a bit of this color, put it here. And then take this color, emphasize the shadow there. Let's see if I can start adding the circles inside her eyes. The shape is not quite right. I think I might have to play around with it a bit more, but it's I think it's getting there. I think maybe I will bring up the eyebrows a bit. Like that. And then what I'll do, take this eye, let's remove the lines, take the eye, tweak it a bit. just move the bottom lid up a bit. Let me go ahead and select that part of the eye, add a bit of shadow. I'm gonna go with a blue tone. Like that. Let's go ahead, add a bit of light. Take this, I'm going to highlight the upper eyelid, blend that in, add the shadow. Add a bit of shadow like where the line is at, and take a bit of the highlight. Okay, take a bit of this. Okay. I'm gonna line the upper lid with a bit of beige tone. I'm gonna take the whole eye. Let's see. Let's do this. The other eye is kind of distracting me a bit. Okay, let's work on this eye right here. Let me just remove the lines for now. I'll do the lines later. I'll just keep it like that. Let's do like this. Now onto the other eye. Let me go ahead and put the dot first. And as for this side, copy that eye. Let's go ahead and kind of play around with it a bit. Let's go ahead and shape it. And blend the eyelid in now. Let's take a bit of the darker color. Now the opposite side. Take a bit of this color, or this color, I guess. Maybe a little bit warmer. Let's go ahead and line the side of the eyebrow. Bring it down. Highlight the eye bags. I'm going to blend this in now using the airbrush. Take a bit of that color. Highlight the bottom of the face. Let's go ahead and I'm going to... No, that might look a bit too sharp. Let's take that area, take a bit of the super warm color, put it there. fix the lining for the eyes, the tear duct lining. And add the eyelashes. Her eyes are pretty open, like she's staring into your soul, so widen the eyes a bit more. And the eyebrows is also a bit higher, so let me move the eyebrows a bit higher. Alright guys, we're back. So I did go ahead and do a bit more work on her face. Let's see if I can show you guys. So this is what I had. I worked on it a bit to this level. And then I kind of played around with it, refined it to here. And last but not least, added a bit more work here. Although I could probably lower this slightly. And also I could probably take a bit of what I had before, overlap it, turn down the opacity a bit. See if I can get a nice blend of all the variations that I painted. Trying to kind of match it to what I have underneath. Let's work on it a bit later. For now, let's tackle the hair. So the hair, I'm going to be using in combination with the solid round brush / airbrush. I'm going to be using the lasso tool to help me paint some of the hair detail clearer, a bit cleaner. Let's add a bit of highlight here. Take that. I'm just gonna do this bit by bit, highlight, shadow. Let's give it a bit of highlight here. Alright, zoom in here for the eyeball. I think I'm going to make the eyeball slightly bigger. Gotta check out how the eyes are. Okay, let's make the eyes a bit more yellowish, like this, and then take a slightly warmer tone, put it on the other side, trying to give it a nice gradient. Let's do a dot. Oh, let's do these circles. Clean that up, clean the circles up, and what I'll do also is gonna go ahead and in each of these circles I'm going to highlight this side, and also on the opposite side darken it slightly. See how that looks. Yeah, definitely trippier. The eyeball's definitely trippier this way. Yeah. that's more like it. It's feeling a bit more like her. She's definitely got that wild personality, so gotta capture that in her eyes. I'm going to slowly add a bit of shadow on the inner corner here and go into the tear duct with a bit of rosier tone. Onto the other eye, added a bit of eyelashes and such. But I quite like the direction of how I did the eye here, so I'll be replicating that onto the other side as well. Let's go ahead, clean up the eyeball. Okay, I got the eyes, the bottom part good. Let me just clean up this part. And you know what? I'm gonna try to see if I can copy this eye, bring it over here. Ooh, actually, I think this works out nicely. So I don't have to do that again. And let's see. So for this eye, what I'll do is copy that side, darken it, erase bits like that, but have this side slightly darker. And on this side, what we'll do is take a brighter color. I'm just gonna highlight the ridge of the ridge of each of the lines, each circular outline for the pupil. Merge down. Let's go with the smudge tool. I'm just going to blur the eyes out a bit into the whites of the eyes so it's not too sharp. Let's take a bit of this highlight, bring it down here. I think that suits her eyes quite well. She's got the crazy eye look anyways, so it's good. Delete that little bit. And her eyebrows are actually a bit more relaxed, so I'm gonna try to make her eyebrows a bit more relaxed. Okay, now back to the hair. Same method. I'm going to do a strand by strand. Let's add a bit of highlight on that. The left side. Do that again for here. Let's go ahead and do that again. I'm gonna try to keep the right side slightly in highlight. Let's go ahead, select there, take a bit of shadow color. Let's select that side of the hair, slowly blend it in. I'm gonna go full on solid round brush for this. Zoom out real quick. I'm going to grab a slightly darker color for the hair, more on the dark red tone side, and start just adding that, layering that onto the hair. Take a bit of the orange. Take the red shadow tone, apply it to that side. Let's go ahead and select the outer edge, grab a bit of this color. Take a bit of the orange tone, continue to blend that in. Let's take a bit of this, darken it up. I'm going to start by drawing strands in. Like that. Tuck it behind the ear. I'm going to try to work on the ear a bit. Once we have the ear done, I think we can progress a bit more with the hair. So I'm just gonna go in with a slightly darker shade, outline the rough shadow of the ears, and let's go ahead and clean up the outline for the ears. Take a bit of this color. Okay. Let's go ahead and blur that. I'm going to use the lasso tool. Add a bit of shadow to the ear. Take a bit of the shadow. Blend the rest of the jawline in. And now that I have refined the ears a bit more, I'm going to use the lasso tool to help me block in the hair behind the ear. And basically I'm going to start by adding a bit of that hair texture to the back of the head. Let me clean up the back here too, make it nice and clean. Alright, take a bit of the darker color. I'm just gonna keep it up, layer it on, sort of deal. Let's actually let's switch to a bit of a pinkier or redder. Actually, it's more pinkier highlight, rim light for that side. Use the lasso tool, help me select that part of the hair. And on here too. I think we did a pretty good amount of detail for the hair on this side. Just bring up the highlight a bit more. Let's go up here. Take the shadow color. I'm just going to outline where the, what's it called, that the hairline in the center here. I'm just gonna slowly do the shine for the top of the head. Let me have a look, see on my other screen. Keep going, keep adding the shadow, blend that in. And trying to keep in mind that it's in the shadow, so I'm gonna keep the shadow color. Let me go here, select this, take the shadow color, add it onto this side, and this part of the hair now. Let me go ahead and select underneath that badge, add shadow. Now this side, add shadow. Before, after. We can just keep going with a bit more shine to the hair to the hair. Let's take that dark shadow color. Alright, got the hair pretty much. Alright, let's flip the canvas. Okay, that's not too bad. Just looking at the eyes, see if everything is kind of matching and stuff. I'm going to add a bit of eyelashes on the side too, just so it's balanced on both sides. Let me have a look here. Still looking kind of crazy, which is good. Actually, I'm curious. I'm going to copy that side of the eyes, make it a bit brighter. Okay, gonna work on the blouse a bit. So I'm going to first paint a bit of the neck in. Let's extend the hair down and slowly work on the blouse. So let me go ahead, select that tiny area, use a much darker color, start adding in shadow. Get a bit of highlight going here. And then add a bit of shadow underneath the flap. Let's go up here. And add a tiny bit of flap here where it's showing, and have it go this way. I'm gonna have to go back and paint over the hair after. Let me go ahead and add a bit of shadow where the neck is, overlap. I really want to make sure that the shirt is clearly indicated by itself. Like fixing all the shape. Next, let's go ahead, take a slightly brighter color, make a new layer. That might need to be brighter color. And I'm going to highlight the top of the blouse. Let's go ahead here, Add a bit of shadow. And let's go ahead subtly. Go ahead and paint several folds from the blouse. Onto the shirt. I'm going to next take a slightly darker color and just kind of blend that down. Let's go ahead and take the highlight. Bring it down to form a fold. And take this color, a mix between, it's kind of a neutral color, and I'm just gonna randomly scribble some slight folds. Okay, next, let's go ahead, take a bit of highlight up here, add a bit of highlight there, highlight underneath, basically blend this highlight in to the main color. And also, while I'm at it, I'm going to use a slightly lighter color, start adding in some folds coming this way. Since she's busty, we're gonna get some folds like this. Take this color, slowly blend that out. Okay, take this color and take this shadow color and focus the shadow color on contouring the chest, the outline of the chest. Kind of like that, just contouring that cleavage right there. And now back to the seam for the shirt. I'm just gonna go ahead real quick using the airbrush, do a bit of quick shading here, add some folds but not too much onto the other side. Now take the same color tone and basically add that to the other side. Bring it down. I think it's, yep, it's getting there. Okay, I'm just taking a look, see where else we can put in a bit more detail. Let's select the highlight over here. It's not very noticeable, just a bit. I'm going to incorporate a bit more detail in here. Add a bit of shadow there. take that, blend that out. Blend that down. Take a bit of this, bring it down too. Just gonna select around this area, fill that in, add a couple of shadow there. Contour the chest a bit more here. Add some more wrinkles coming from the bottom left. Okay. On here, I'm just going to blend this into this fold right here. Let's take this color, add highlight there, blend this out, take a bit of this color, select that side, and let me use a bit of a rosier color, blend that out, going to select the, or actually not select, contour the chest. Use the lasso tool, select the rest of that area, and let's go with this color, contour that side of the chest. So add a bit of highlight on this side. Blend that in. As for the tie, actually would like it to be a bit tilted this way. I'm gonna take a slightly darker color. Let's grab a slightly lighter color and blend in this side of the chest as well. Select underneath that side, blend that out. Let me take a slightly darker color. And darken underneath. Let me just add, actually no, gradually blend this down. Okay, let's see, let me zoom out real quick. Contour the side of the necktie. I'm just going to bring over a bit of the shadow color. Let's go ahead, darken that area. Take the highlight, blend that in to the collar. Okay, let's bring it down a bit. Have a look. I'm going to carefully select the side of the blouse and see if I can clean that up. So I'm gonna start off cleaning up the side here and also adding a bit of that ridge that comes with blouses. Just some minor detail to make the blouse look a bit more realistic and stuff. Bring up the shadow for the top for the blouse. Blend it into the highlight. Let's take a bit of this beige tone, indicated or not indicated, put it inside the shadow area. In general, blend that in. Clean up. Merge down. Alright, time to flip. Alright guys, let's start off. Create a new layer. I'm going to slowly work my way up cleaning this area. So let's go ahead and clean up the side flap of the shirt here. Blend that out. I'm going to, let's take a bit of a lighter tone, blue, and blend that in here. Next part, the neck part, I'm going to select the shadow color there. Oh, whoops. Bring the shadow in like this. Start by contouring the tendons of the neck. Gonna use the lasso tool to help me shape that side. I'm going to go ahead add some seams. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and use the lasso tool, bring the outline down, shade it, Let's go ahead, take a shadow color for the shirt, add it underneath the braid. Take the, I'm gonna actually paint over the hair and add it back later. So take the underside of that flap, add a bit of shadow. take the shadow. I'm just going to emphasize it to be the shadow of the flap right here, and back to the hair. So bring the hair down. Now that I finished working on the dress shirt color on this side, well, not exactly finished, but at a pretty good point. Other than that, let me take a bit of this color. I will continue to add a bit more shadow to this area. Now for the braid, let's go ahead and do let's go ahead and line the braid. I'm not super good at it, so let's I'm sure there's an easier way of doing this. I'm going to line it, line that, and then start adding in some shadow. Let me go ahead, grab that, line it like that. I think that should do for the base. After I apply basic shadow and highlight, I'm going to layer on the highlight. So select that area, copy paste, brighten it up, and that's gonna be the braid for that side. So in general I think I have a good amount of detail done. And I was you know what, I was thinking of you know, doing the whole process that I explained to you guys I was gonna do, but I did modify quite a bit, kind of change the placement of certain elements like the hair and the face and stuff like that. So therefore I'm gonna just keep it like on one single layer, and maybe that's a good challenge too, just painting on one single layer, or at least merging everything down on one single layer. But yeah, let's go ahead onto the tie. I'm just going to shade the tie. Like that. Add a tiny bit of highlight down below too. Bring that down. And after that, merge down again, create another layer. So this layer I'm going to be selecting underneath the tie itself. Copy paste, darken. This is going to be the shadow of the tie casted onto the skin. So there we have it. I'm actually shocked that I did this on one single layer. At first I was gonna cut it up into their own individual layer, which you can absolutely do. But since I've already completed it on one single layer, I'm just gonna leave it alone. And yes, before that, I would like to bring forth the hair on this side. So I'm just going to paint back the hair overlapping the collar, and that's gonna be that. So yeah, that's actually not too bad. Since everything is on one layer, what I can do after is kind of play around with it a bit, you know. Let's go into adjustment contrast, make it a little darker in certain areas. Let's kind of have this side bright and this side darker. What do you guys think? Just to make it a bit dramatic. But yeah, let me flip it a bit. It's looking actually not too bad. This hair could, this side could use a bit more hair, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. The background could use some work. Most likely I will be looking to grab some photo textures for it. And the thing to keep in mind for backgrounds, at least for me, what I keep in mind is that whatever I put in the background, it has to frame the character. So I always try to make sure that the characters stand out from the background. That's the rule of thumb for myself that I keep inside my head. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick voiceover portrait. I guess we could call it a speed paint. I think at this level I completed it within 2 hours-ish. But of course I will probably be making it a little prettier for the final result. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next voiceover. Have a great day and or night. I'll see you guys later. Bye.